Welcome back to class, students. Today we have a new topic before us. The topic is basic ecological concept. Basic ecological concept. Right? So let's start with ecology. Let's define what ecology is. I said here that ecology can be defined as the what study of plants and animals, technos of plants and animals in relation to their what environment. That is the study of plant and animal and how they interact or relate with their what environment. The environment is where they live. So it can be divided into two parts. They are what ecology and what synecology. Ecology is said to be the what the study of a single organism in relation to its environment. Okay, that is how a single organism relates with its what environment. Just one organism, right? So for example is uh, a dog and its environment. Only the dog. We are not looking at any other thing in the environment. Just the dog and the what? The environment. Okay. Alright. So please take note of that. Why synecology is said to be the what? The study of the interaction or interrelationship interrelationship the relationship between organisms living together in an environment. Alright. So in this case it differs from the first one, which is ecology, which studies only one single organism or species in relation to its environment. But in this case, ecology deals with what? Interrelationship, how they relate with each other. How does dog relate to goat? How does goat relate to dog in their environment, since they are found in the same environment, alright? Or in the same area. The environment or area. Right? So example is the relationship between organisms found in river. Between organisms found in a river, alright? Or within species found in a river. You know, a river is an aquatic environment, and we have different animals residing in an aquatic environment. Example is the fishes, the crocodiles, and so on and so forth of organisms that can be found in such environment. Okay, so we'll proceed further to what we regard as what ecological concept. Alright, so concepts are important. They are important to help us understand the subject matter better. Right, so they help us to understand subject matter better. And some of them are the environment, biosphere, lithosphere, as I've listed. Okay, let's talk about the environment. The environment, it deals with all the factors. The environment deals with all the factors, both internal and external, both internal and external, whether living or non-living, living or non-living, non-living factors, whether living or non-living factors, which affect and what organism. Right? So take note of that. The environment is what deals with factors both internal and external. It can be internal factor that is within the organism or outside of the organism. Alright, whether living or non-living. Okay, so whether living things within the environment or non-living things like the weather, the temperature, the soil, and so on and so forth. Alright, all those things that affect the animals, they are what regarded as the what environment. Now let's go to the biosphere. The biosphere. Biosphere. It is the zone or layer where living things, living organisms or things exist in the earth surface. Alright? Right. So it's a layer of zone where living organisms exist in the earth surface. The layer of life. Bio means life, just like biology. It is a layer of life. Okay. So what else? It provides habitats for organisms like animal, plants, and microorganisms. Okay, provide habitats for for sorry, habitat for plants, animals, etc. Okay, so let's proceed to the lithosphere. Okay, sorry for the little interruption. Let me chip in this before I proceed to the lithosphere. Right. So the biosphere, you know, we said is a layer of what living things or living organisms. So it is found in water, land, and even air. Right. You know, we have living things that reside in water or that lives in water, that lives on land, and even what and the air. Right. So let's proceed to lithosphere. Lithosphere, it is what solid portion of the earth crust, right? Portion of the earth crust, alright? It's actually deal with the land and the solid part of the earth crust. Full stop. It accounts for 30% of the total land mass of the earth. Alright? So the the lithosphere just covers 30% of the total land mass of the earth. That is to tell us that the hydrosphere covers about what 70%. Alright, so we have less land compared to water. Okay, so please take note of that. Alright, it serves as habitats to animals that lives on land. Alright, so to animals that live on land, it serves as habitat. Alright, so it is made up of rocks and mineral resources. It is made up of rocks and mineral resources. Alright, so I think that's all for lithosphere. Okay, let me say this. It serves as the basis of all human settlement. Okay, you know, we humans actually live on what? On land. I guess we live on. I know we live on land, and all our activities are carried out on land, such as agriculture, mining, transportation. All right, we do that on land, and so on and so forth. All right. So going to the atmosphere. When we are talking about the atmosphere, we are talking about what? The layer. Okay, let me say the gaseous portion or layer of the earth. Alright, of the earth. Alright, so this deals with what? Gases. Gases that surround the earth. Okay, so this layer, the atmosphere is found within 30 kilometers of the earth, then 30 kilometers of the earth's surface. Alright, okay. So it contains, when we talk about atmosphere, I told you it contains gases. Alright, so these gases, let's know to what extent, what gases does it contain. So it contains gases such as let me create enough space for, okay, so tons of gas such as atmosphere. Okay, so we have nitrogen. Alright, so this is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere. It contains, we have 78% of that. Oxygen is 21%. Alright, and we have the uh, carbon dioxide. Take note, CO2 is carbon dioxide. Okay, let me write it completely so we won't get mistaken. Carbon dioxide, 0.03%. Alright, and the last 0.97% is for the what? Rare gases. Alright, other gases we have in the atmosphere. Right, in very low quantity, they contain just 0.7% of the total gases in the atmosphere. Okay, so if you sum it up, you see that the total equals to what? 100%. Right, so let's proceed to the hydrosphere. From the word hydro, when we are dealing with hydro, it has to do with what? It is a layer, right? The liquid portion, sorry, let's say the liquid portion of the earth crust, of the earth's surface. Alright, so it covers, I mentioned it the other time, it covers about 70%. About 70% is not so certain that it is 70. It might be a little be below or a little above 70. It covers about 70% of the total earth surface. Alright, so you know we have more water than what? Land. So it holds water in different forms such as in such as in solid. It holds water in solid, which is the ice. You know, ice is solid water. Then in liquid, okay, which you know as the water, and gases, which is the what? Water vapor. Okay, and water vapor. Alright, so examples of where we get water. Examples are uh, lakes, rivers, oceans, etc. You know, the water can also be divided. It can be divided into two parts. It can be divided into two parts. They are we have the salt water, and what? Fresh water. Alright. So the salt water, such as the what? Oceans. Okay, and the fresh water such as the what? Rivers. etc. Please take note of that. It's very, very, very important. So we'll go to the next one on our list here, which is what? The habitat. The habitat. What do we know about habitat? From our preliminary knowledge, we know that an habitat is a place where an organism is found. Alright? Where an organism is found in an environment, right? Alright, where it is found, where an organism is found, or where it dwells, right? In an environment. Okay? So when we are talking about habitat, we know it is divided into terrestrial, solar divided into terrestrial habitat, divided into aquatic, and terrestrial habitats. Alright, aquatic, I told us, deals with what? Water, and terrestrial do with what? Land. So animals we found on land are regarded as what? Terrestrial animals, while those we find in water are regarded as aquatic organisms. Okay, so we've said so much about habitats. Alright, we all know that example now for fishes, they are found in water naturally, so you don't expect fishes to survive on land for long. Alright, they might survive for very few minutes, such as 1 or 2 minutes, but they have to what? Go back to water to be able to what? Breathe with their gills. Alright, and we all know that man is found on land, so there's a limit to the amount of time you can spend in water, which a fish can spend most or all of its life in water. Alright, so let's proceed. Let's move forward to the biotic community or biome. Alright, biotic community, also called biome. Alright, the naturally occurring group of different organisms. Group of different organisms living together. Naturally occurring group of different organisms living together and interacting in an environment. Alright, so they live together in the same environment and they interact together in that environment. Just like in the river. In the river, different organisms found in the river would have to interact with one another. Alright, they might interact with one another to survive. to adapt and so on and what so forth. So let's talk about ecological niche. Ecological niche, alright? Ecological niche, it's a what? It's said to be a, sorry, let me clean this. It's the specific place, right? It's a specific place or portion of an habitat which is occupied by a particular species. Alright, so a specific place or portion of an habitat which is occupied by a particular species. Right, so even all animals living on land have different parts of the land where they reside. Alright, some reside in the savannah, while some reside in the desert, while some reside in the rainforest. Alright, so it's just that the habitat, whether terrestrial or aquatic, covers it all generally. But there are different portions of this habitat that different organisms are found. Example is the lion. You won't find a lion in the tropical rainforest. You can only find a lion in the savannah. That is its own ecological niche. Alright? Because in the savannah there is enough grasses for the lion to be able to hide itself while hunting for a prey. Unlike in the tropical rainforest that is filled with trees. Alright, so I guess we should be able to grab what I'm trying to explain, or what I'm trying to pass across. Okay, so let's proceed to population. Population, we know what population it deals, or it's about. It deals with the total number of an organism, the same species living together in a given area at a given time. Example is total number of lion in the let's say in the Sudan savannah. Alright, so when we say population, just from our preliminary knowledge, deals with the total number of an organism of the same species living together in a given area or environment at a given time. Just like population of humans living on earth, we have same species, we are all homo sapien, so we are all human, and we can all be regarded as one. Okay, so let's move forward, let's progress. Ecosystem, right? And we are talking about the ecosystem. We are talking about the interaction between the living part of our environment and the non-living part. So we say ecosystem is is the living factor. Ecosystem, it consists of the living things, or let's say living factors, living things, plants and animals, interacting with the non-living factors in an environment. I guess we know what the non-living factors are. The non-living factors such as the climate, the weather, the topography, the soil, and so on and so forth. Alright, so let's talk about community. A community is a group. Community is a group of organisms, whether plants or animals, that occupies a given area and are what adapted to the conditions of that environment. Alright, so they have adapted there, and that's where they are found. So they are regarded as what? A community is a group of organisms, whether plants and animals, that occupies a given area, uh, to the condition, and they are adapted to the conditions of that environment. Alright, so thank you very much for the audience. Proceed in the next class.